Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Pokemon Black. I'm your host, ThePikaWu. In the last episode, we made our way to Icirrus City, did a bit of exploring around and all of their happy junk. And what we're going to be doing today is going and taking on the gym, but if I remember correctly, there's actually a building we didn't check. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if we checked the fan club or not, but yeah. And because this has actually been working kind of well for me, I'm going to just kind of make this a little announcement. I am going to do the actual recording of the gameplay first and then do narration afterwards, because this way I can talk about things a little more easily rather than feeling like I'm on the spot about it. So I mean, I don't know. But yeah, so what we're going to be doing today is discussing again a little bit more about Alpha Sapphire, as well as a few other things here and there, as well as, you know, obviously taking on the gym, at least in, you know, this game, and we're also going to be heading up Dragon's Viral Tower as well. So those will be things that we'll be doing today. And the second, I think it's the second puzzle in this gym that kind of gives me like the most like trouble every time I do this gym. But yeah, that's kind of the thing. Anyways, so what I kind of want to start off with is good and bad news. Over this past weekend, there was I can't remember the actual name. I think it was like Get TV. I think that was it. Get TV in Japan, there was sort of a quote-unquote reveal for Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. Very underwhelming. We ended up basically just seeing Kyogre and Groudon coming out of the ocean, and it was kind of like a battle scene where they would enter the battle and then they would either summon Harsh Sunlight or summon the Rain. Very amazing graphics, I won't lie about that. I'd be kind of, you know, a lie to say that it's underwhelming in the sense that the graphics aren't what we expected. They're actually much better than they are in X and Y so far, at least from what we've seen, which is cool. Now, the reason why I say that it's underwhelming, and this is basically the bad news, is it's basically all we were shown. They announced a few other things as well. Not very much was revealed though. Nothing really new was revealed. We already knew that Kyogre and Groudon were both going to be in the game, and we already knew that they were going to summon Rain in the sun. So I mean, we really didn't learn anything new. All we did was get a glimpse of what the graphics were like. So again, that's kind of the bad part of it. The good part is apparently, I watched this video on YouTube. I don't remember who it was or like what. I don't even know if what they said was actually 100% true. But they said something about like potentially this weekend, as in, you know, one after the one that we just went through. There's a potential chance of new Mega Evolutions being revealed. So we might get some new information this weekend. On top of that, I believe next issue of Chuggaconroy next month or whatever is also going to have more information about Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby as well. So that's kind of good news added onto the underwhelming, you know, reveal that we've already had. Yeah. So something that I thought about not too long ago, like while I was actually in the middle of recording this, there's a cool thing that they implemented in X and Y, as I'm sure that everyone is well aware of, that I kind of am praying they continue to do in Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, and that's giving all the like legendaries that they give us 3 perfect IVs regardless. This may be a little less likely due to the fact that there's the Reggie trio as well. They're a part of the Hoenn region. There's also Latios, Latias, all that good crap. So I mean, it's gonna be kind of tricky, being able to get so many legendaries in a single game to, you know, have 3 perfect IVs, I guess. I mean, there's Latios, Latias, there's, if they somehow manage to do it, Jirachi, Deoxys, Rayquaza, Kyogre, Groudon, the 3 Reggies, which puts you at like 10 legendaries already, plus any of the legendaries that they also decide to add into the game. So, I mean, yeah, and I'm going to kind of get back to that point momentarily. But it's something that I do kind of want to see. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to soft reset a few times and work like maybe a day or two's worth to get a 5 IV Kyogre or Groudon that has the nature you want. I'm currently doing something similar with Xerneas since I restarted my X. So I mean, I'm kind of doing that, and I can kind of understand how it's a lot easier now. I've gotten 4 or 5 IV ones, and 3 of them had the IV spread that I wanted, but not the nature that I want. That 50% synchronizer. Excuse me. again, weather's kind of fucking with my throat. This kind of leads me to believe something else. Well, not believe something else, but question something else. Before I do that, this is the puzzle I was talking about. This is like the second one, where it's kind of just retarded. You can kind of hear my voice cutting out there, I would assume anyways. But basically the next thing I kind of want to cover is whether or not we're going to get Diancie before Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby even get released. It's become quite apparent that it is going to be available in X and Y, of course, but as Serebii has for Diancie's little event listing, we have no idea whether or not the event will also be available for Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. Events tend to last a significant amount of time, and yeah, so the reason why I'm kind of questioning it is because in Japan, the Diancie movie is slated for release in July, and the thing is last year when we had news of the Genesect event, it came out in July as well, but when the English one came out, it came out in October, which is a month before the Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby release. So it's kind of like, are we going to get it before, or are we going to get it like sometime after, depending on how they decide to release things. I'm kind of expecting it to be in October, just like they did last year. I don't remember when we got the Red Genesect, because I know that was kind of a part of the whole, you know, like movie thing. I don't even know if the English people actually got that event. I mean, could be wrong. I'm not entirely sure though. I mean, we probably did, because I mean, it wouldn't be fair if we didn't. But I just don't remember ever trying to get it or being able to get it, so I don't know. But yeah, like I'm kind of expecting Diancie to be released sometime in October, but at the same time, like I kind of wish they would release things a little earlier. I don't even think there's an English release date for the movie at all yet. I think we just have the Japanese release date, so it's just kind of pure speculation. But I know that a lot of people are looking forward to Diancie, so I kind of want them to release it ASAP because it's actually a really cool Pokemon as opposed to a lot of the other Pokemon that came out in Generation 6. But yeah. As for Diancie, there's a few other things that I kind of want to cover here. We all already had assumed that Hoopa was also going to be involved somehow in Kalos, not in Hoenn, because of the Lumiose Ghost Girl. Like, they've had Ghost Girls in previous games, of course, but the fact that we have an unreleased, technically a quote-unquote unrevealed legendary that happens to be Ghost, it kind of just has to somehow tie in with the Lumiose Ghost Girl. So we kind of can speculate that Hoopa is going to be released within Kalos, not within Ruby Sapphire. It'll probably be able to be used in Ruby Sapphire, but it probably won't be obtainable outside of the X and Y games. The one that I'm kind of curious about though, and it'd be kind of interesting if they did this, is Volcanion. I'm not sure exactly how they would play this out in X and Y. I understand that in the power plant there are like two different doors on the outside in that route that you can't get into, so it could be an area like those can be areas that lead to these two legendaries. Of course, we have no idea of, or no way of really confirming that. At least I don't really know anything about these two legendaries. All we know is that Diancie will be a DLC, or you know, like a Wi-Fi event. So I mean, there's basically nothing else about that. But Volcanion's kind of interesting, and I'll get to that in a second, because in case you can't tell from, you know, the actual thing that's going on in black right now, we are now currently sitting at the gym leader. His name is Price, or not Price, I'm thinking Generation 2 for some reason. His name is Brycen. If you couldn't tell, this entire gym was all ice. I figured leading Scrafty would be just broken, because I mean, Moxie plus super effective against everything here, whatever. So continuing on with Volcanion. Volcanion, as I'm sure that anyone that's kind of checked it out on Serebii would know, it's a fire-water type. It would be kind of interesting to do something with this, but it might not even happen. Of course, it would just be kind of an interesting hypothesis or theory or whatever. seeing Volcanion and Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby and it being initially released in that region. The reason why I kind of would find this interesting is because Kyogre's Rain and Groudon's Sun, so basically a Sun boosting Pokemon and a Water boosting Pokemon, you know, well, a Fire boosting Pokemon and a Water boosting Pokemon. It would be kind of interesting because Volcanion is basically on both sides, and it'd be kind of interesting to be somehow tied in with them, at least in the new storyline, assuming that they aren't like completely exactly, you know, remakes of Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. But I mean, the fact that it's Water, Fire, it'd be kind of interesting if it's somehow tied into a new story, which would mean that, you know, because technically Volcanion, I don't think we know exactly how it's obtained. I'm not entirely sure. Again, this is all just because I don't have a power save. I can't just go, oh hey, Volcanion in my game. So I mean, I really don't know. We all know that Diancie's going to be Wi-Fi event though, so I mean it's fine. But I don't know anything about Volcanion or Hoopa specifically. I don't think very many people know if there's even knowledge about it. But all I know is that I have no knowledge of Volcanion, so I'm kind of just going off of my own, you know, mindset, I guess, about it. So yeah, it would just be kind of cool to see it released in a different way than people expect, because it can be in the Pokédex for, you know, because think about it this way, we didn't get Meloetta until after Black and White 2, if I remember correctly. So I mean, the fact of the matter is that Japan's going to get these event Pokemon first, obviously. I mean, they're getting Diancie in July, which means everyone's going to have Diancie in July. Like, let's be real. People are going to be able to physically trade Diancies once July hits, because Japan will have it, therefore they can trade it to other language games. Therefore, guess what? Everyone's going to have it. So the first person who's brave enough to soft reset over and over again and go through that long bit of, you know, dialogue, they're gonna be, you know, like, oh well, I'm gonna ask for all these Pokemon for this, and then eventually someone's gonna actually get it, then they're gonna clone it, then they're gonna trade it, and then everyone and their mother's gonna have it, and then we're all happy honky dory. Of course, that'll only be one nature. It won't be like many different natures. So I mean, people are still gonna have to fight to get different natures, of course. But yeah. So again, we don't know how Volcanion and Hoopa are gonna be released. So it's just my opinion that it'd be kind of interesting to see Volcanion released in Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. So I mean, I don't know. As for the new Mega Evolution thing, I'm going to kind of go back to that because we still have some time left, of course. I don't know what we're going to really see for the whole new Mega Evolution thing. I think there's already been people who have made YouTube videos about this. They kind of want to see, or they're predicting the reveal of the starters getting their Mega Evolutions, which this is something I'm pretty sure anyone can agree on. It's well, not hugely, but widely possible. They may finally give us the Generation 3 Mega Evolutions. Of course, it doesn't really matter. They're probably either going to have their same hidden abilities, or they're going to get some kind of weird new ability that is like, oh, you know, we're not completely broken, or we're just going to be terrible like we always were. Not that I want to call any of Generation 3 starters terrible. Unburdened Sceptile, Speed Boost, Blaziken, and of course Damp Mudkip. Damp Mudkip is pretty fucking terrible, let's be real. But still, like, it'd be kind of cool that if it got a Mega and it got a relevant ability, it'd be freaking great. Like, imagine a Sap Sipper, like Marshtomp or something. That would be, yeah, like that would just be, or not Marshtomp, but Swampert, you know. So I don't know. Other Mega Evolutions, I kind of actually can see, what's his name? Altaria getting one. I can see Altaria getting a Mega Evolution. As well as, obviously, I've mentioned this before, Metagross, Milotic, Salamence even. There's a lot of Pokemon that can actually physically receive Mega Evolutions, and there's even earlier generation Pokemon that can also receive them. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just my opinion on it. I'm probably going to take some time to think about what Mega Evolutions I personally would want to see, because, I mean, again, it's just, you know, something that I would really like to see a lot of older Pokemon receive. Anyways, in the next episode, what we're going to be doing is continuing up through this place, and yeah, hopefully we can get done with that really quick. So if you haven't already, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, this is the PokeGamer signing out.